I never thought that I would buy an iPad. But then I tried the mini. As an Apple fanatic who has had an iPhone since the first generation, a MacBook, and an Apple Watch, the iPad was actually always a tough sell. It seemed as if there wasn't anything it could do that my other devices couldn't, but it wasn't until I started going through my day-to-day that everything changed. So for my specific option, it's simple. I went with space gray so it matches the color of my beard, I mean the rest of my lineup, and 128 gigs of storage as I didn't plan on storing too much on it. I've had it for about 4 months now and have zero regrets in that decision. It runs smooth, battery life is great, and the screen is a perfect size and gets nice and bright. But there is a catch here that I'll explain a little later. And look, specs are only part of the story. Why did I finally cave and buy the iPad mini? What makes it special? Well, it's the fact that it's its own device. See, it's not trying to be a computer, and it's not attempting to be an iPhone. That's not to say it couldn't be either of them. If I were going to go back in time as, say, a student, I would 100% grab one of these for note-taking and everything in between. You can even connect a keyboard and mouse to it and pretend like it is a little computer, so you can do it all. But bridging the gap between a computer and phone is where the mini really shines. Media consumption, prop it up on any desk, table, countertop, couch, you name it, is effortless. It doesn't take up much room and is big enough to see information on at a distance if needed. And look, this obviously isn't aimed to be a power device, but the A17 Pro chip is plenty good enough to get whatever job you have done. If it's gaming, streaming, or editing, it all runs smooth, so really no worries there if you're not going for the Pro. One-handed use is also really underrated here. When I started to use this as an external monitor during my filming process, I officially bought in. Having this size screen makes it so that you can see what you're doing, but not get fatigued while doing so. And if you're wondering if the screen size is limiting, don't. Multitasking works great. It's way easier than lugging around a computer and way more efficient than staring at your phone. To me, anything bigger would be overkill in both portability and price. So what is the catch that I mentioned earlier? Well, it's the fact that there is an 120Hz refresh rate. Now, I get why Apple hasn't included this just yet on the Mini. I suspect this would eat into their iPad Pro lineup by quite a bit if they threw everything at it. It really isn't that bad, so honestly, it's not a negative enough impact here to take away from the iPad Mini and all the pros that I've mentioned already. iPadOS has gotten much better over the years, but is still, in my opinion, too limiting to use as your main computer. And this is why I had such a tough time going for the iPad Pro or even iPad Air to begin with. This is where the Mini slides into the perfect hybrid category. Could it be an all-in-one if you needed to? Yes, but it's not trying too hard to do that. And that's why I think it's hard to beat, and perfect for 99% of people. Spending over $1,000 on an iPad Pro before accessories and realizing the Mini can do a majority of what the Pro can at a third of the price is what leads me to my next point. Now, can you do all of this on a computer like a MacBook or an iPhone? Yes, absolutely. And I'm not oblivious to that fact. I definitely think the iPad is an add-on per se. Some people would say you don't need it at all. I used to agree with that. I do think that it's something that is a little bit of a luxury. When you're spending $400 to $500 to $600 on something, I want to make sure that you're getting the value out of it. And here I definitely think so. Can you carry around a MacBook like this? Absolutely not. I've tried using it on the couch. I've tried bringing it outside. It's not the same. And no matter how hard you try, you can't make your iPhone screen bigger, especially on a long flight where you're trying to watch something. And again, luxury, first world problem. I totally get it. I just want to make sure that if you're going for this, people know that you're getting a value out of this. And that's why I think the iPad mini fits an area that a MacBook and an iPhone don't, and I really do get it now. And again, I'm a tech guy. When I decide to go for a new product in any lineup, I'll usually go for the medium to higher spec, mostly for future-proofing, but just because I like having all the features that are out there. But going for the entry-level model here was the play for me, and if you're trying to decide between any iPad, I think it could be for you too. I know I said a lot of controversial things here, but I do strongly believe in this iPad mini, and that's coming from a former hater, so trust me, I did think a lot about this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.